I'm not happy with my aquarium. I'm not even talking about the inhabitants. There is actually an active problem right now that's going on with this powder blue and this sailfin. The two of them are not getting along. They used to for a while, but now the powder blue became a bully. So I am going to have to come up with some sort of a more permanent solution. The Naso is super docile and awesome, the Antheas, the yellow tank, but these two guys are just not getting along. I will be doing a few things about it, but let's focus on the deficiencies of the tank itself. So first of all, you can see I've lost a couple of corals. I'm not sure why I haven't introduced a single coral in this tank of that species, probably over a year, so it cannot be any type of a disease. I think it was maybe too much flow or not enough flow, something along those lines, but I need to take this piece out and clean it up. And also just overall the growth on my Euphyllia, the frog spawns over here, is just nuts. There's just too many, and while it looks good and there's this movement, I think I want this tank to be a little bit more of a mixed reef, and so all of these guys will have to go. Also need to prune this pineapple fuzzy Nepthia, just because it has overgrown as well. It just doesn't look good in this tank because it's so large, and you can see that overall the look, I'm going for maybe a little bit smaller corals to make the tank appear larger and more balanced. Speaking of Nepthia, I have this coral over there that's just a nuisance. I need to do something about this guy, so I'm gonna try to yank it out. And you can see this torch has fallen off, needs to be reglued. I have all these anemones in the back that are a huge nuisance, and I dread the day, but the day is coming for me to be taking all of them out. Also, there's lots of detritus. There's lots of pieces of dead coral that I need to take out. Look at this favia, the spicy lemon favia. It's been burned from all angles, and it's clearly an issue. And these urchins are really helping, because you can see they are my little Roombas. They just walk around and pick up different pieces of dead coral, and when they come up to the surface, I have two of them. So there's one, there's the second one. All I need to do is just reach down with one hand and pick one of them up. So that's the goal for kind of phase one of this modification of the tank. So take some pieces out, clean it up a little bit, and then go at it. My vision is to really change the way this tank looks, and right now there's a couple of unsightly gaps. There is just no balance to this aquarium. I have increased the height of my hydras, so there's 3 of them, and I've raised it easily, I'd say 16 inches off the glass. So before that, they were a lot lower, but the problem with that was that it was impossible, next to impossible, to work on the tank. I just couldn't get my hands in, especially if I need to take the rocks out or work on the tank. And the tank needs to be pruned and worked on actively, so hence I spent a few days changing the back leg to a longer piece and just fine-tuning the overall height, and I really like how it turned out. And notice that right now there is no glare into the eyes. I cannot see the light of the tank, which is what I want. I want the light to completely disappear. I only want to see the tank. Okay, let's take a look at what happens next. And this is a couple of days later. I think I'm a lot happier with the right side. By the way, for anybody who's been asking about my camera lens settings, I'll do a detailed video later on the exact settings, but I'm shooting this without any filter. I do have an orange filter that I would sometimes run if I'm doing more of a blue tank, but right now this is probably around 14K, and I would use this kind of orange filter. This is what it would look like, but I think this looks a lot more natural and more to what my eye sees. And if I don't like something, I guess I better work on the coloration of the actual corals as opposed to tweaking it with more lenses. So this is what my eye sees, and this is exactly what you see. So coming back to my big remake of the tank, I think the right side is looking a lot better. Still not super happy with a couple of things. So there's some detritus at the bottom of the tank, so like on the sand here. So I'm going to at some point clean it up, and I will use the 2 Roombas I have in here for picking up some of that. So I do that pretty regularly. And I don't know, I like that kind of empty sand look, but I may tweak it a little bit more. Maybe add a couple of corals here and there just for accent, but I do like these overhangs. And I'm still not too married with on this whole torches rock here. Maybe I'll add a couple of more torches to make it a little bit bushier, but that's again down the line. Right now this is better. There's no more anemones getting stuck. I've cleaned it all up, and I'm gonna do another examination later on. But this is pretty decent. Now the next step will be taking care of the left side. And the left side, I have a lot of Euphyllia, a lot of hammers. All of this is gonna get fragged later today. And because I've had a few stores asking for those, and you know, this is going to be perfect. I'll frag some of this up, bring it over, and start working on the design of the left side. And again, my vision here is to just kind of get things one step at a time. Identify a couple of issues, couple of things I can improve upon, and then do this, and then do it again, and do it again. So for the next one, I think I will take probably every one of those Euphyllia colonies out, frag them. It's going to be a little bit barren on the left for a little bit, and then I'm going to start drilling holes or cleaning things up, and then planting more and more of, I guess, my other corals. I want to add a couple of Montes, a couple of Acropora, you know, just do it one step at a time. This is pretty exciting, and let's take a look at what the tank looks like now. I think this is definitely an improvement, a little bit better, a little bit cleaner. I like that background, you know, just like that black, nice and clean, but man, there's so much more I need to do. This is the result of modifying the middle piece now. What you can see here is I have cleaned off all of the mushrooms, or almost all of them. There's still a couple of pieces left. Just goes to show you how hard it is to actually remove them. There is a little bit of Sunset Monty on the back here as well. At some point I'm gonna clean that up. And I have moved things around a little bit, just pushed it back. This is gonna be kind of my SPS island. There's a couple of corals here. It's just some placement of whatever I had handy, but I'll be doing a lot more of color coordination and kind of tweaking things later on. Also notice that these particular guys have been in quarantine system for probably, I want to say 3 weeks. That's why they're all very dark, but I'm not worried about this at all. You can see that these guys here that I have quarantined a while back, the color is really starting to come back to them, they're looking a lot better. So give it a week or 2 weeks and I think it's gonna start changing up, and I'll do a whole video about the different corals I have. But meanwhile, I am pretty happy with this mid section now. I've also slightly adjusted my Nero 7s, so there is a little bit more of the kind of offset look here. So they're not right against each other, so there's a little bit of a bigger gyre, and I'll talk about my water, I guess the flow later, but right now they are in alternating mode, so one is running, the other one is off, and vice versa. I will run it like this for a little bit, and then I'll decide if I want to adjust it further. So I'll do a little bit of a random, I'll do a little bit of everything. Now notice that this particular Euphyllia is not super happy. You have to be very careful with those guys, because if they get blasted with too much, even indirect flow, they're gonna close off. So I'm gonna monitor this particular frog spawn, and if I see it retracting, I'm gonna have to move it around. But right now I'll probably just push this rock a little bit back, and again, this is still far from final. The next couple of steps are, and I think this is what I'm gonna do next, is I gotta take this spicy lemon favia out and clean it up. It's been stung by the anemone and other corals. Like, it just looks horrible. I gotta do something with this favia rock over there. Looking at this Desjardins, is a little bit on the thin side. I think I want to do something about that. Maybe I need to try and catch him. Look at that. This is the telltale sign of something being off. You can see how whenever you see those lines on its belly, that just means that he's not eating enough. So I will do something about this. Maybe I will add a piece of nori, but I really think it's that powder blue that is messing everything up. He is just being a mean bully, and he is constantly harassing him. So I will spend a little bit of time trying to catch the Desjardins at some point. I really like this fish, and I wouldn't want to lose him. So that's yet another thing to do with my tank. You can actually see it right here. So seeing this particular one is now almost not running, whereas this guy is going full speed, and vice versa. What else? Oh, you see this fuzzy pineapple Nephthia? So it was kind of right in the middle. I think I've been getting this alarm in the back. Something with my water flow. Again, I've been cleaning the Nero 7, and this is when it started, so maybe there's a couple of droplets of water. Goes to show you how important it is to have water sensors, and that saved me quite a few times. So let's take care of that first. Here you have it. This is right now the final result for this first phase of redoing my Treasure Lagoon / Treasure Reef, or morphing my lagoon back into a mixed reef. So we have completely redone the right side. It's a lot cleaner. I haven't figured out what I want to do with the kind of sand, and whether I want to have anything there. Maybe there's going to be a couple of corals here and there, but I really want to work on the aesthetics of this, and I'm going to leave it for the next few videos. I still haven't cleaned up some of the rocks, but I think I've done a pretty good job with the mid section as well. You can see that I have now attached the fuzzy pineapple Nephthia onto the rock. I'm just using a little rubber band that I'll wrap around it. and it's gonna secure it for maybe a week or two, and then after that I'm gonna remove it because the Neptia is gonna attach itself to the rock. Right now it's quite upset, that's why it's closed off, but very soon it's gonna open up. And I do like it on a separate rock because this way I can move it around. It's a large coral, and I think it's gonna look nicer in of its own. It demands its own presence. And I still have to do a lot of work on the left side. Haven't yet figured out what I'm going to do. With that said, this concludes today's little video on the remake. I'm really curious, what am I missing? Like, how can I make it next level? I'm having you along for the ride. So hopefully we can get something that is going to look awesome and something that's really going to bring a lot of joy to myself and all the viewers. Cheers, happy upcoming holidays.